Gut check time for the Chicago Bears. Some humble pie served out today. Maybe some reality spray is in order here today.
Yeah.
Lance
little B2A.
Little B2A.
The wrong way.
We didn't have the belt.
B2A the wrong way. We're going to be talking about a tough loss for the Chicago Bears at Baltimore. No laughing. It's the Brick by Brick Aftershow starting right now. You are. We are presented by our good friends over at Circa Sports and Empire Today. Hey, when you're hitting up Circa Sports, make sure you download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And with Empire Today, make sure you're using the promo code CHGO, and you can get a $350 discount with all your flooring needs. I am your host, Greg Briggs Jr. Alongside me, as always, is Lance L. Boogie Briggs. And Jerry, the Zoom. Azumah. Yeah, well, the Bears were not zooming here today. A wake-up call, if you will. Bears had found their way to a 4-game winning streak to get to 4-2.
Yeah.
You face a backup quarterback on the road in Baltimore, and you cannot find a way to win this game. Normally, you guys got to have the reality spray out for me because I'm losing my mind after these 4 wins, getting way too ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But today, in our leveling out, I'm going to need you to talk me off the ledge because I really felt like this was an opportunity today to get to 5-2, put yourself in a legitimate playoff conversation.
Yes.
And now it's red alert.
Yeah.
What is this team?
Yes.
Well, over the last couple of weeks, you've been you've basically been buying Super Bowl seats and tickets. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that you started putting together a fund for all of the family members and friends to get flights out. So it's good to have some of this we call it reality display humble pie.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we can save you some money. We don't want you spending all that money.
Yeah, well, and hey, if you saw me in Vegas, you know I'm liable to do that. So, I mean,
that's what I've heard.
Because as Jerry likes to say, we don't like that money that jingles.
We like the money that folds.
We need that money that folds with the way I can spend it. But, Jerry, I mean, help me out, man, because the Bears are still over 500.
They are.
But it doesn't feel like it the way they've been playing the last few weeks. And when you win and not play well, it glosses over some of the things. But then when you lose on a day like today, now all of a sudden your weaknesses and it's just very glaring right now.
They caught up to them today, So this team is not really that great. They're decimated with injuries all over the place, the Baltimore Ravens. But, they had situations where they could have taken advantage, the Chicago Bears, and they did not do that. And if you don't take, situations and capitalize on them, then bad things are going to happen. And bad things happen enough where they lost the football game. They were in it. They had opportunities to win this game, but unfortunately, things like penalties that we've been talking about all over the place, the trenches and penetrating the quarterback, getting to the quarterback, running the football, things like that. It just didn't come together. And for that reason, they lost the game.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Uh-oh.
The Bears are who we thought they were. Okay? Hold on a minute.
Reality spray.
Listen, the Bears they didn't do anything today that we haven't seen before. Okay? Caleb, inaccurate at times. Okay?
Has somebody wide open in the end zone.
Right. We kill ourselves with penalties.
Oh, don't even get me started with that.
Why? We had 10 last week. We had how many this week?
11.
11?
We did it more better. Well, how many penalties did we have last week? Oh, we can do better.
We can do better, right? We don't do well. We're not consistent stopping the run defensively.
Right.
Okay. The one glaring, I think, saving grace has been that we take the ball away. Mm-hmm. And not like once. We take the ball away at least 3 to 4 times to cover up all of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We didn't do it this time.
We gave it away.
Right. We gave it away.
Yeah.
Which means that that's further going to expose the issues that we've already had each week. Mm-hmm. Nothing has really changed. This team has really been consistent. They've been very consistent. The only thing that didn't happen in their consistency is we didn't take the ball away 4 times. That covers up all the other stuff. If we took the ball away 4 times, the Bears are in position and probably win this game.
Yeah, you can't depend on that, right? And we knew that chicken was going to come home to roost. They've had 15 takeaways here the last 4 games. Today they didn't get any. They came close a couple times. Kevin Byard almost got a pick 6. It was so close.
Yeah. Close it gets you 30 points scored on.
It gets you a loss.
Yep.
That's what it gets you.
An L.
We talk about identity of this football team also. And we're still trying to figure out the identity of this team. Offensively, I feel like the past couple of weeks, this team has been able to run the ball effectively and efficiently when they had to do so. Yeah. And that essentially is their identity. They had opportunities in the red zone to run the ball, to get a couple of yards, get those tough yards, get the ball into the end zone by running the football. That's kind of what we do well offensively. That's our identity. We weren't able to do that. Defensively, obviously, our identity is taking the ball away. We weren't able to do that. So now you have to find ways to just kind of win ugly, and we had opportunities to do that. But unfortunately, we just came out short.
But the other thing, too, Zoom are the penalties. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right now, we don't have
that's an identity also.
We don't have
undisciplined.
We need a disciplined coach. We need a penalty coach. Okay, we need a stop the run coach.
Well, let me ask you this with the penalties, as both you guys, as former players. Ben Johnson came to the podium after the game today, and he said, in terms of the penalties, I'm putting this on the leaders on our team because we're coaching it and it's not getting any better. So Ben Johnson is putting this right on Front Street for the players to now address. This has been a problem. We've talked about it all the way through the summer at training camp. Penalties were a problem at camp and in the preseason. And now we're 8 weeks into the season, and it's still a problem. And how do you feel?
We can talk till we're blue in the face. These are anywhere from 22 to 36.
These are grown men.
These 36-year-old men.
Grown men.
You're telling me at that age you can't get it right?
False starts. Pre-snap penalties, like I said last week, you can go out there and you can fight your butt off. And if there's a penalty in there, we're not going to be mad at that. What we're going to be mad at is the pre-snap penalties. Like, that stuff cannot happen. You are playing very undisciplined. And if you start playing very undisciplined against really good teams, this team isn't good.
Come on.
They're not really that good right now. You start playing some really good teams and keep on playing with this undisciplinedness.
Yes.
You're going to be on the L.
You know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to be a 28, 29-year-old man and you're on the soccer field, somebody comes up and they swipe their foot at you and you to fake an injury to fall on the ground and be like, ah!
Was that a screen?
That was
screaming. I told you he does.
Was that a screen?
I'll tell you what, I will not allow you guys to connect the handshake again.
But you're right. I mean, this team has got to get this stuff cleaned up. I think the other thing that I want to transition to while we're here in this first segment is, Lance, Professor Briggs every Monday on CHGO Bears always can give tough grades. And I do think the one thing getting to know you here over the last few years is you hold this quarterback to a high standard. And there's times, much to the chagrin, it's what he always says, number 1 pick. Much to the chagrin at times to the chat. Hey, Lance, you're being too hard on Caleb. Now, tides are turning here today, just from reading the tea leaves of Bears fans and their reaction. And we're all reactionary. It's a tough loss. we're mad, even though they just won 4 in a row. But there's a lot of people being very critical of Caleb Williams now, whereas you've been pretty consistent on your criticisms of what he needs to get better.
Number 1 pick.
Again, when you talk about chickens coming home to roost, today the things that Caleb Williams isn't consistent at really reared its ugly face today.
It's reared its head a long time ago.
True.
A long time ago. All right. The thing about a number 1 pick, all right, when you talk about the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, this means the best in the world, okay? What are the flaws? What are the flaws of a number 1 pick? Or what ideally would you think the flaws of a number 1 pick should be? It's not almost flawless. It's
just inexperience.
Inexperience. So when you talk about, okay, so maybe you can be better at decision making. Okay, maybe a little bit. Accuracy should be on point.
It should already be there.
On point. Okay, if you're a pocket passer, you know exactly how to read defenses right now, and you're not afraid to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 2-style quarterback, you know when to run, you know how to use your feet,
right.
But you also know how to make that doggone read. You may not read 1 through 4, but you're going to read 1 through 2.
That's right.
And then run. Okay, so when it comes to a number 1 pick, you have to look at guys like me and Zoom. I was a 3rd round pick. Zoom, you were
5th round pick.
5th round pick. So,
I was a not round pick.
It's okay. It's okay. We play with them too.
Right.
But as I told you before, I'm
Don't
not
suit it up also.
As I told you before in the players only when you booted me off, I'm not a player, but I crush a lot. Go ahead with your thought. I'm sorry for getting you off.
Crush some cement.
You're damn right. Crushing them bricks.
So when you look at guys like myself and Jerry, we're drafted because they're like, there's a lot of holes in your game for what we want to go out in the NFL level and play. We believe you have a lot of holes. When you're drafted number 1, I will never lower my standard for what the number 1 pick is supposed to be.
Right.
Because you are supposed to, from the top to the bottom, you're supposed to break this player completely down. Okay? From, I got calls in my high school, and I was a 3rd round pick of people trying to ask me about my background. Okay? So you think about if you're gonna spend your money on the number 1 pick, this number 1 pick, man, and again, I will never lower my standard, but the number 1 pick should be as close to flawless as you can get in drafting a player.
Now, to Caleb's defense, this is his 2nd year, right? He's still learning under a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new offensive everything, so everything is still kind of new to him, but I understand what you're saying. Trust me, I get what you're saying. There shouldn't be issues when it comes to accuracy or decision making.
You know how many new
or processing.
You know how many new coaches that I had my first 2 years? I had 2 new coaches, 2 new defensive coordinators. Okay, if you're a playmaker, you're a playmaker.
That's true.
Period. Point blank.
That's true.
You're a playmaker. You're a playmaker.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to figure some things out for Caleb also, but at the same time, like, I understand what Ben is trying to do, and Ben is trying to put it on the team so that the team can react and figure some things out as well. But at the same time, this is a very undisciplined football team,
no doubt.
And discipline comes from where? It's got to come from the coach. The coach has to implement and put certain guidelines and certain things in place where the guys can just follow that. When we're talking about pre-snap penalties, these are things that just should not happen.
Right.
And you should not be undisciplined where you're going out there and creating these pre-snap penalties. You're you are past that. Pre-snap penalties happen in college or in the high school level. They shouldn't be happening continuously the way that they are with the Chicago Bears and a professional organization. There's just no reason for it.
And it's really hard. It's really hard for me to when you say that, it really does fall on the coaches. But when you watch this coaching staff and the detail in which they coach and their background, it is really hard to say these coaches aren't coaching them correctly. It's really hard. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not sinking in with the players, but everything that you see, the detail that you see them being coached, when that camera's on or whatever or whatnot, even when the camera's not on, what you've seen for them in the past, Antoine Randall and Eric Bieniemy, they're the militant, they're the disciplined guys.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to grasp that they're this undisciplined.
Well, I'll say this much. I mean, we're all, as Bears fans or analysts or coaches, there is going to have to be patience required with Caleb Williams and the offense. Whether we like it or not, that's just the reality. The last couple games, they're getting challenged. And while you're halfway through a season, now there's more tape on what you're trying to do. And the defenses are figuring those things out. They're heating them up. They're sending blitzes that are throwing things off kilter. And so you're right. Like, accuracy, that is something that has to just be on point for him. Decision-making, if you're sliding inbounds before the end of the first half,
you got to get out of bounds.
You got to get out of bounds. Now, decision-making on an intentional grounding where we got some clarity after the game that it should have been an option route for Colson Loveland on the outside, and so they weren't on the same page. That's different decision-making than sliding inbounds. Like, that's Colson, a rookie, and a second-year quarterback not being on the same.
He's a what
top
pick was
10
Top
pick.
10 pick.
Top 10 pick.
Right,
No,
but
10.
But come
Top
on,
10
let's be a little fair to the option. Like, just it's an option route, and that's about them being on the same page with.
It's an option route.
It's an option route.
That's not a difficult route.
You read.
You
what
have the
said.
option.
If there's somebody to your left, you go right. If there's somebody to your right, you go left.
I understand that. I understand that. But, hey, even top 10 picks are allowed to make mistakes. Now, if you repeat those mistakes, listen, Lance, if you repeat those mistakes, that's
how many times have you ever been drafted in top 10?
Listen. You know what? Time out here. Now, I will say this much. I will admit, and I've said this a couple times here in the last week, when they drafted Caleb Williams, I thought there would be much less of a developmental curve that we are currently going through with Caleb Williams. So there has been a reality check here the last year and a half of who Caleb Williams is and what he is capable of. I still believe in, but he still has a lot of untapped potential that he has to find, that Ben Johnson has to find, and so hopefully they can get that, because Bears fans obviously are stressed out.
The interesting thing about this is that we know pretty much how good they can be. If they're playing on point, we understand that they can go out there and they can make a lot of plays and they can be explosive when they want to do that.
Yeah.
But they're being very undisciplined. That's number one.
To see it.
Number two is that they run the ball effectively and they run it good. The past couple of weeks, we've seen you do that. So we expect a little more consistency when it comes to that. We didn't see that, especially in the red zone.
But again,
defensively, they've been consistent at not getting to the quarterback. We understand that. So, and they've been hurt a little bit, but we want to see these cornerbacks get up there and challenge the wide receivers. We've seen them to do that and take away those throws. We've seen that, but they've been very inconsistent. This team is very inconsistent.
They're very inconsistent. I'm going to go back to this too, man, because I think sometimes people get upset because of this standard that I talk about, this position being drafted, this position being drafted. People don't understand, like when or may or may not understand, when you're drafted on, back in the day, we call it the second day, you're drafted in the 5th to 7th round, more than likely your chances of making the team are very slim.
Yeah, it goes way down.
Most of those guys don't make the team, or they're on the practice squad and they become the guys that are traveling from this team to that team. It's not a fun career for a lot of these guys because coaches and they don't believe, and the office doesn't believe in them. So when you're drafted in those first 1, the 2, the 3 rounds, you are dependent on to become a player for this team. You are a part of the future. So when we talk about the number 1 pick, the number 10 pick, and we're saying we got to give him some grace because he was running the option route and he ran it the wrong way. To hell with that. Like, you know what your job is. No, do your job. Your job is to run an option route, and if you've got a guy to the inside, you run out. I'm a defensive player. I know exactly how the option route is supposed to work. So run it the right damn way.
But at the same time, like, don't you blame the coaches as well? Because, like, all right, let's talk about Colson Loveland, right?
Yeah.
Top 10 pick. When are we going to start featuring him? I understand that he's been hurt and things have been going awry a little bit, especially on the offensive side. But when, as a coaching staff, do you say, okay, we need to start unleashing, you know, Colson, our number 10 pick, and figuring out what he can and can't do. Like, let's unleash him a little bit.
Well,
more.
let's get into. I got the finger. Well, no, honestly, I think it's a fair question. It's a fair question, Lance. It's a fair question, and when we come back from the other side of the break, we'll talk about how Ben Johnson can get Colson Loveland more involved.
Yes.
We'll talk about how he did in this game. Obviously, John Harbaugh certainly had the upper hand here today. We also have sound from the locker room from Colson Loveland and Roman Odunze, so we have some different things to bring to you guys here. But first, we want to take a quick shout-out to our sponsor. So hit that like button while you're hanging out here on the Brick by Brick After Show. Shout-out to Joe's on Weed Street. We appreciate everyone's support. It was a great turnout here today. Not a great result of the game, but we're going to take a time out. 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll do the Foreman review. Hey, want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Circa Sports. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. They always take care of the people. So bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season, whether it's spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it for you. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Hey, the Bulls have started out 2-0, Steven. Make sure you bet on the Bulls here, and when you do, make sure you're using the Circa Sports Illinois app. And download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And, hey, the Bears are just going to continue to make you some money if you bet on them. So continue to bet on them with Circa Sports Illinois. I also want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Empire Today. Just like your favorite team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get that. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day of the week. We've all been to those big box stores. They might have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may have been doing sinks yesterday. You know you can't trust plumbers. Only bricklayers and only the experts over at Empire Today. So get with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. That's certainly important. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard that right, a $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. Make sure you tell them we sent you. All right, hit that like button here for the Brick by Brick After Show with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah as we enter the Foreman review portion of the program as we look at Ben Johnson here, who still has his team over 500 at 4-3. But Jerry, I'll start with you because you kind of set it up before the break. Cole Kmet, 90 straight games started as a Chicago Bear since the day he was drafted. Today, that streak ended.
Yeah.
Colson Loveland had an opportunity to be tight end one, be featured. First play of the game, roll out, play action, wide open in the flat.
I was like, today's going to be the day.
And then it kind of fell off after that. So what are you seeing here in terms of what they can do with Colson Loveland to try to get him more involved in the offense?
Look, from what I understand, Colson is a big target. He's fast. He's athletic. He's aggressive, and he can catch the ball. So essentially, he's a big tight end. I mean, he's a big wide receiver, So we can move him in motion. We can create some mismatches. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the game plan kind of spiraling around him and featuring him to be like, okay, almost like a Kelsey with the Chargers. They feature him. They work on the mismatches. There's a lot of mismatches that they can create. Ben Johnson is creative enough where he can go into a situation and be like, okay, I want to feature this guy and create some mismatches and get him some wins and get him some easy targets for his quarterback. I think Wooten said it best earlier today. He said, it's all about the tight end and the quarterback having a relationship. The easiest target for the quarterback is to hit the tight end because the tight end over the middle of the football field is a big, easy target
for him. It's the path of least resistance.
So why don't you try to create some type of a rhythm, It doesn't have to be, airing the ball out or anything crazy. 10-yard, we can even call it a button hook. Right over the middle of the football, throw him the ball, get him to some type of rhythm, and get Colson going. We haven't seen that yet, and he's the number what pick?
10.
Number
Top
10 pick.
10
Top
pick.
10 pick.
10.
10.
Damn 10.
We have to start unleashing him. I understand that we have weapons all over the place, but I'm really interested to see exactly what we have. And we don't really know what we have at tight end with Colston until we can figure it out and start throwing him the ball and try to get him open. Because there's plenty of times, actually, that I've seen that he's actually been open. And I don't know if he's the number 1 or number 2 read or anything like that, but we need to start getting him the ball, and he needs to start coming on his own and being like, look, I am that number 10 pick, and I got to show and prove that I am that number 10 pick, and I can make plays, dynamic plays down the football field.
That really reminds me of Jimmy Graham, to Drew Brees. He was one of those guys where you knew where it was going. It didn't matter. He was going to throw that jump ball, and he was going to go there anyway, but it built a great relationship because no matter where he was, he knew that Drew was going to throw that ball to him. You were my first target, and if I had any trouble, I know right now I can go. You're an outlet to me right now. I played with Martellus Bennett, who was also another very, very big very tall, big body tight end. These guys become really big options for your quarterback, and you develop a good relationship because it is such a safety outlet when there's any trouble at all.
Yes.
Down the middle, you're taller than all of those defenders that are past the first level. So once you get past those D linemen, these linebackers, these safeties, these corners, you're 4 or 5 inches taller than all of them.
So looking and trying to dissect how Ben Johnson did here today, trying to understand, you're facing John Harbaugh, who's been there and done that, tough coach. They certainly had a game plan on both sides of the football, whether that was the defense dialing up the blitz to make Caleb Williams uncomfortable, make quick decisions and bad ones, leading to intentional groundings, or on the offensive side of the ball and them trying to figure out, obviously, the penalties, I think, is where we should start, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about it in the first segment, but each week it's 10 penalties a game.
We're talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
It's
and it's all
frustrating.
negative stuff. And it shouldn't have to be that way, especially for a professional organization. 11 penalties. I mean, last week they had, 10 penalties? This week they have 11 penalties. When are we going to cut that out? This is week 8. Week 8. There's way too many penalties. And if you keep on, we talked about this all the time, you keep on creating these penalties on yourself, you're not going to win football games against really good teams.
So the second decision to me that's always kind of paramount to me is how fast you start. And this was a big game for them to really demoralize a 1-5 football team. Don't let them believe. And honestly, I feel like the game was won and lost, and eventually, essentially lost by only getting 6 points on your first 2 drives of the game, where if you get 2 touchdowns on those drives, now you've demoralized a 1-5 football team, and you don't give them hope. And instead, you only come away with 6. So Briggs, this red zone offense, we talk about the penalties, but the red zone offense is also a huge problem right now. And I don't really understand what the solution is, because they have ran the ball well.
Nobody understands the solution. Nobody does. It's we can comment on a lot of the stuff, but it's what the issues that the Bears have, offensively is not new. The consistency of what the Bears have put out there on the tape is exactly what we saw today.
Yep.
Okay. And so to sit here and comment and say, hey, listen, they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do this. We're going to do that on a weekly basis because we're going to consistently say the same exact things until they change that.
Well, I mean, their identity, like we talked about, is running the football.
Yeah.
Like they've established that for the past 2-3 weeks that they are pretty good running the football. I think we ran the ball over 100 yards the past two weeks. When you get into the red zone, now it's an attitude type of thing also.
That's
and then
an
when you are especially like first and goal, like within the 5-yard line, this is where you get to your identity that, our guys are just going to be better than your guys, and we're going to put our hand down on the ground, and we are going to steamroll you, and we're going to get the touchdown. It's an attitude.
I'm
thing.
not going down until I get 5 yards into the end zone.
Right.
Yep.
I know that this play might be the last opportunity I may get or we may get to get into this end zone. This next play, if we don't get in the end zone, this next play may be a pass.
And the thing, too, is that we have seen it. We have seen this offensive line and this running back core execute when they had to execute, except for when they get into the red zone for some odd reason. I understand that things like get condensed and things change slightly. But at the same time, it's still an attitude type of thing. You just have to want it a little bit more.
Well, the only time they got into the end zone was when they ran it 3 times in a row in the red zone, right? I mean, so you look at, the numbers, and the Bears only end up as a team running for 96 yards, but Caleb Williams accounted for 24 of those. So, 11 carries for 45 yards for DeAndre Swift, 7 carries for 24 yards for Kyle Monungai, and DJ had a couple carries that didn't amount to very much. But, and that's the thing.
They're pretty balanced, though. I mean, if you look at the runs, 23 versus the passes, 25, they were pretty balanced, but they just weren't effective enough when it comes to running the football. Now, Sweat has shown that he can run between the tackles, and the offensive line has shown that they can create an incredible Swift. They can penetrate, and they can create holes for Swift to run through.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, they're just not consistent, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, 18 carries total for between Swift and Monungai, 20 if you had DJ Moore, 25 and 38 throwing for Caleb Williams. So, I don't know if the answer was that they should have stuck to the run a little more. I think context is important in terms of down and distance and what you're able to do. And when you have penalties that are putting you behind the sticks, you can't always just dial up the run, even if that is what their identity should be. And I think we're all kind of in agreement that their identity needs to be a run-first team right now. I don't know. Are you there, Briggs?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
It don't sound like you there.
No, I mean, I've always been a proponent of running the ball and committing to running the ball.
Yes.
And with and to be quite frankly, with this quarterback, in order to help him to develop to the guy that we need him to be in the future, running the ball is crucial to our success and crucial to his development. I do think that at some point, in the future, he can become the guy, or he's going to become the guy that we can consistently look toward to make the right decisions and know that, okay, man, I've been in this situation, 100 times. I know exactly where I need to go with the ball here. If it's going to be a pass, I know exactly where I need to, if I need to check this down, if I need to run it, if I need to put it deep, whatever it is, I have a comfort level where now I've seen this so many times. It's like I can read it like the back of my hand.
Yeah. So we're going to get into some different things. We talked about Colson Loveland. Haven't had a chance to talk about Odunze yet, but we are going to hear from both of them from the locker room, and we'll get some reaction to that. So hit the like button while you're hanging out here in the chat. And, hey, make sure you drop a super chat in there if you guys have any questions for Lance or Jerry. Certainly get to those here. Or if you want to ask the meatball, I've been booing a lot of people here lately, so you better be careful because I'll just start booing people here in the chat. But we appreciate everybody here tuning in to the Brick by Brick After Show. 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Colson Loveland and Odunze from the locker room. Fall is here. Crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire or two. But if you're like most guys, you're still putting in that hard work, and yes, that means sweat. So don't let body odor sideline you. We all know that feeling when it's game day and you've been working hard all week. Your lucky jersey might be smelling a little too lucky. Yeah, that's right. You want to make sure you use the Mando deodorant plus sweat control. It's not just another cover-up. Mando is one stick, 2 jobs, powerful odor, and sweat control. So make sure you're using them because one swipe and you are good to go. It lasts. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours. So shop Mando at shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and say hello to long-lasting freshness. And got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Monarch Money. Listen, guys, I have been going to them. They have been go-to right now as I've been financing a Vegas trip with somebody over here as we were golfing the whole week away and hanging out at, casinos and everything else. And, hey, you also got to get a new car when you wreck one, and Monarch Money is going to help keep your finances in order. They're going to get you organized and confident with your finances. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch Money is offering 50% off your first year. So make sure you hit them up. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code CHGO. All right, we are here on the Brick by Brick After Show. Hit the like button while you're hanging out for the money man, Jerry Azumah, and the screamer. Let's bring get out of here with that. No, I did. I took my daughter. I did that screamer.
Mr. Sniffles.
Mr.
Sniffles. Wow.
Shots fired. Listen, I like where we're going now.
Shots fired.
You're getting picked on right now. And I'll say this much. I was at. I took my daughter, my wife, and my daughter. We went to a haunted house last night, and the screamers that were there, I was like, I know a guy. I was
oh wow!
I know a guy.
We're gonna bring him so we can scream.
No, I'm a nun guy.
Yeah, I know I'm a nun guy. Oh man. Well, I'll say this much. Watching Tyler Warren, as the Colts are up 31-7, dominating the NFL landscape while we're still trying to figure out what Colson Loveland is has made me want to scream here a few times. Let's hear from Colson Loveland from the locker room, courtesy of Adam Johns, working hard in Baltimore, and we will react to that on the other end.
Man, whatever it is, it's got to take all 11 of us. And, I got some plays out there that I think false start and some other stuff that just can't have. Once we clean those up, score in the red zone, obviously we got to get in the end zone. But we're just going to come back into work tomorrow, watch the tape, clean it up, and go from there.
It looked like Williams looked for you in the red zone a couple of times on both ends of the field. What happened on those plays?
Which ones are you talking about?
Like I think there was a pass in the flat that maybe you were well defended. And then, like a little play action slam. Like you said, it was well defended. Pretty much that.
You talked this week about the red zone, or the team talked about we got to get touchdowns, not field goals. In the first quarter there, where they only run 3 plays, you have the ball the whole time, and you only come away with 6 points. What does that? Can you kind of feel that on the sidelines? Like we should have more.
Like 6 is a lot more. 7 really, but 6 is a lot more than 3.
Right.
So you definitely feel that. And it's just it's been the same thing all year. We just gotta finish it, finish, and I know we'll get right this week, get back in there, lock in, and change things.
We've talked a lot about penalties and just some of the issues all these weeks in. Is it concerning that some of the same issues keep popping out?
A couple more here.
Obviously you don't want that. None of us want to go into a game, have a penalty. Yeah, like I've been saying, we've been saying, we got to clean it up, and I think that just being more locked in and being more focused in the moment. And
Could you feel any desperation on the other side? A team that was 1-5.
Yeah. Obviously they're well coached. They got some good players, and they're by no means were they ever going to give up and just lay down. We knew what we were coming into, and props to them. They fought their butts off. We just gotta get it right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colson Loveland saying it's been the same thing all year in terms of
We got to clean it up.
not having enough success in the red zone. I think the other thing that stood out when Patrick Finley asked about the desperation of the Ravens and Colson acknowledging that. And I do see here in the chat from Sports Are Great 317 saying, surprised nobody's talking about how physically dominated the Bears were on both sides of the ball. Definitely felt like just a complete 180 from the Saints game where the physicality was as good as I've seen it in maybe a decade plus. And now in this game, the Ravens kind of flipped the script and dominated them on both sides of the ball physically.
It's not a situation where you say because the Ravens were in a desperate situation that they played more physical. Being physical is a decision. It's a decision that you make, and when you go into games or you come out of games and you say, listen, we got out physical. They hit harder than us. They went in this game and they out physical to us. There's no coaching. There's no coaching that can go out on the field and do that for you. We can give you great game plans and schemes,
Right.
But if you get hit in the mouth and they're controlling you at the point of attack, they're going to more than likely win. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
So it's interesting that they're but I'm trying to get away from the excuse of why. The excuse of this, the excuse of that. You don't get excused for this team being more physical, and the excuse is not because they have their backs against the wall. I don't care if they have their backs against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs, when they were undefeated, were playing teams every week that had their backs against the wall. They didn't care. The Eagles, when they were undefeated, were playing teams with their backs against the wall every week. They didn't care. So that's not an excuse for why they played more physical than we did.
I'm looking at the stats. In Baltimore rushing, they rushed the ball 35 times for 177 yards. 35 times for 177 yards. At first it seemed like they were kind of stagnant and they were trying to get it going, and then they stuck with the run. We've been talking about this all year long. Stick with the run and then continue on. They basically did what the Bears should have done. And you're exactly right. When you're on offense, you want to be out there hunting people. You want to be physical with people. Running the ball is all about being physical, hunting down players, and just kicking butt. That's what it comes down to. They stay consistent with the run. They stay consistent with the run, and they ran the ball 35 times for 177 yards. And Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns. There's plenty of times where he got stopped. But they were consistent with it, and they just kept on going. Then they started running downhill. Yeah. The Bears can do that too. They don't need to panic all the time. They don't need to get cute with all these passes and things like that. They need to stay consistent with the run because that's what has been getting you places. Yeah. You have created some type of identity by the run. Stick with it a little bit more, and I believe that things will start to open up. But you have to stick with it.
Let me ask you this: do you as a fan do you trust Ben Johnson's decisions as the coach, as the offensive coordinator, or whatever, as the coach?
Yes.
Right. So where do we, as fans, pick and choose when we believe in what he's doing, and then we say we question what he's doing? All right.
When it doesn't work, I'm going to question it.
Right. When
That's how it works.
Right, but it's not. But that in life, in football and in life, like you're gonna try a bunch of things that theoretically should work. They ain't always gonna damn work. You're gonna get a slant here.
But we do know what works.
I think the answer.
We do know what works.
We know what consists. What should work.
The past couple of games would have worked with the Chicago Bears offensively.
Running
the ball. So why are we stopping it now? Why are we getting away from the run now?
Like I said earlier, I do think maybe some of the context, go back and watch, had probably to do with, at times, what the down and distance is, right? But I agree. I do agree with you. At the end of the game, they did try to stick with the run or get back to it a little more, put more of an emphasis, and it resulted in in the red zone getting a touchdown. Mm-hmm. 18 carries between Swift and Monungai. When you're talking about the other end of it with the Ravens, Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell, 25.
Lopsided.
And we're not including the quarterback runs, which for the Ravens was designed runs. Caleb's runs weren't designed. So you honestly could include Tyler Huntley's runs in there. Keaton Mitchell's runs today, 4 carries for 43 yards, 10.8 yards per carry. A couple of them were backbreakers.
Yeah.
You know, they really did a nice job of mixing it up.
We kind of knew what their game plan was going to be when they came into the game. You know,
Right.
they didn't have Lamar. So they didn't have that dual presence or that threat. We knew defensively that we had to stop Henry. You know, we have to put a hat on hat with Henry and can't get him going downhill. We know that they're probably going to be trying to stay consistent with the run, which they did. They ran the ball several times. And then try to create some pressure up front. Our trenches with our defense is just not where it needs to be. And that's where it starts up front. Like, if you're looking at it defensively, the trenches have to be aggressive and penetrate those gaps. One, shut down the run, but at the same time, get to the quarterback. We're not winning those one-on-one matchups to get to the quarterback, and I don't know what needs to happen at this point.
We got to get knock off. We got to get pushed. We got to be playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Right.
You know, and you're right. That's one thing that hasn't. We haven't had any consistency there all year. And then when we're getting those double teams, we're not getting linebackers consistently downhill, you know, as much as we need them to on a consistent basis. So, and that's not honestly, and that's not to take anything away from the play of Tremaine, because Tremaine has been tremendous this year.
Yeah.
But it's not. One player is not enough. You know, you need 11 on defense to be effective.
Yeah, and the defense needs the offense to do their end of the bargain too.
Yep.
You know, and the Ravens are in a position of power because they were up the majority of the game, and that, you know, the Bears defense, they put a lot of stress on the Bears defense, and by the end of it, it opened up. Once Caleb throws an interception, now they're in the red zone immediately.
That was a bad interception too.
Yeah, it was a bad interception. It's a bad one, and that kind of stuff puts the defense, who's already injury plagued,
a lot of pressure on them,
behind the 8 ball. And so it's hard for me to be too hard on the defense here today. Ultimately, because the offense needs to hold up their end of the bargain.
I agree.
They got to score points. The special teams, they got a touchdown at one point, and the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff return went to the 50-yard line.
I agree with you.
Those are things that hurt the defense too.
Briggs.
Briggs. Yes, sir.
Listen, if you and I are playing next to each other on defense.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna add some on this too. Okay. And we go out, we get 3 and outs. All right. We don't even take the ball. We get 3 and outs, get the ball back to our offense. Our offense turns the ball over 4 times. All right, which means we're going back out again. What changes for us? What changes in what we do? Like, nothing changes in what we do. It is our time to shine. Like, we have the job to do. So when we go out, when me and you go out, if our offense turns the ball over 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and we go out on that field, we have a job to do. It's not, our offense gave the ball. No, I'm ready to go out here and kick somebody's ass.
Yep.
Like, and it doesn't stop just because you turn the ball or our offense turned the ball over. I'm about to go out here and make some plays.
Yep. I mean,
and if you're not on the same wavelength as me, then we don't mean to be teammates.
I'm not completely disagreeing. I mean, when they got the turnover for the Ravens on the interception, if the Bears hold them to a field goal, the defense, then all of a sudden the offense has an opportunity to go and win the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get that.
We got bricks to lay.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd be pissed off if I laid this brick the wrong way.
I agree. But you and Jerry are both speaking as guys that were extremely successful players. And so I'm looking at this defense and trying to be fair to it in my criticism, because I can be hard on it. But at the same time, when you have the amount of players, you had Dom Rob go out on the first kickoff of the game. You know, you have
some guys that went
Jervon
down.
Dexter that went out at one point. You're starting the game without Kyler and Jalen and Tyreek Stevenson. And so I know you hate excuses. I know you do. But I got to stand my ground and be fair to these guys, because they're playing with one hand tied behind their back. They get a stop in the first quarter, hold them to a 3 and out, and all the offense comes away with is 6 points. Yeah. That's not good enough. And I know you guys had a lot of pride.
Lamar didn't play.
You guys never had an offense that helped you out either. And you guys had pride and came out there and made plays. But you guys also were riddled with Hall of Famers, and I don't know if this defense is.
We weren't Hall of Famers when that was happening. You know what I mean? When those plays were happening, we weren't Hall of Famers. There was one. Definitely one.
There was one.
There was definitely one at that time, but we weren't Hall of Famers at that time. We were guys that were on the field that had a job to do. If your mentality defensively is anything other than that, then you've missed the mark.
Yeah.
You cannot go out defensively and say, "Oh man, we've had a rough day. Oh man, they keep giving us this bad field position." Your job is to go out there and keep them out of the end zone, take the ball away, and score
Regardless of what situation is.
regardless of the situation. So if we're able to take that ball away, we're getting that shit into the end zone.
Yep. Well, and they didn't get a turnover here or takeaway.
Lance is fired up.
I'm fired up.
Yeah.
Fired up.
I know. I'm going to try to slow down on the excuses. But you know me, the reality spray isn't here today. So, but I will say this: the one bright spot here today was from Odunze. You know, he did have a drop at one point, but he did have 7 catches for 114 yards. He did speak to the media in the locker room. So let's hear from Rome on what he had to say with how everything went down in a tough loss to the Ravens.
First quarter, you're down there twice, and you come away with 6. Is that an example of kind of how important it is to try and get touchdowns tonight?
It's a direct example, for sure. Yeah, a direct example. But yet again, we've had to do that this week, and it takes all of us, you know, to execute the plays that are called and go get touchdowns instead of 3. But when you don't do that, that's a real.
There was a penalty in that first one, but like, is it always penalties that are the issues down there, or are there other things that you can see that are stunting red zone drives?
I mean, I think definitely the majority is shooting ourselves in the foot. Penalties, you know, misalignment, misexecution on a play. I don't think there's ever been an instance where we've not had a penalty, and executed the play properly where we haven't scored touchdowns in the red zone. So we got to get back to that.
On that intentional grounding, I think you had the route on that. Was that a route miscommunication, or were you just cut off by the defender?
You'll have to remind me, dog. I can't remember what intentional grounding was. It was yeah, I can't recollect it right now. I don't know, it was thrown very late, but
Yeah, I think you were going up
To the left sideline up there.
it was to the Ravens sideline or to our
To your sideline.
To our sideline.
I think you were the receiver on that.
Right.
Before halftime.
To the left.
Let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving.
Sorry. Yeah, we got that one.
With the Ravens, everybody talked this week about, you know, you had a team that was going to be desperate, kind of with or without Lamar Jackson. Did you sense that in their stadium and with their guys?
I mean, yeah, they came out. They knew what their record was. They knew what their potential for the season, or their goals were, and you know they came out ready to play. So, give them all the credit. They came out and executed their game plan and got the dub.
There is Rome Odunze from Baltimore here reacting to a loss. They're getting quizzed on the plays here.
They keep making him have to recollect it.
Yes. Buddy.
No, I guess we need a laugh right now. We need a laugh.
I like the Bears media guy when it's like, keep it moving.
Keep it
guys.
moving.
Let's go,
Let's
guys.
keep it
Enough of
pushing.
the quizzing. Poor guy.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, but
Like, no.
I mean, we've all blacked out after that game. That was a tough one. But Rome Odunze, 7 catches, 114 yards. Not a Hall of Famer yet. But if he keeps doing that every week, maybe one day.
He's a go-to guy right now, and I like it. I like the fact that they're giving him the ball and they're creating opportunities for him. You know, 7 catches for 114 yards. Like, yeah, I like it.
That's how you build. I mean, you build careers that way. You build your career that way. You know, and it's not necessarily that you have to go for 100 yards every game. If it's not there, it's not there. But when your number is called, you're consistent. You catch it and you produce. So when you do that consistently over a period of time, that's where, you know, your name gets pulled up and mentioned in these talks of, hey, this guy is in those all-time bests. You know, so it starts as all-time best Bears.
Yeah.
If he's there long enough, then it becomes, oh, man, he's one of the all-time best in the NFC, all-time best all-around receiver, you know, and so you have to etch at it.
Yeah, this game really hurts, you know, because they had a real opportunity to go 5 straight. Like,
I know.
we had a real good opportunity and chance to move forward, you know, and 16-30, like the Ravens, they're what, 1-5 when we started this game. they weren't really that good. Their leader was down. You know,
Their
they were getting
MVP.
beat up. Their
looked
MVP
good
was
today.
down, but today they looked really
They look
good.
They look good.
And like that's very disappointing because the Bears, we know what the Bears are about. We've seen four games, the sample size, and we were saying, you know what, they're doing some great things. They're moving forward. We can really take advantage of this Baltimore team. And then for them to go to Baltimore and do what they did, you know, they're going to look at this film and be really disgusted with themselves.
There were plays where the receiver was wide. It was an easy target for Huntley. You know, he's rolling right or rolling left, and he's looking down the field, and it's an easy decision for him.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be in the NFL. There shouldn't be guys running wide open. Number one, but there certainly shouldn't be guys running with that wide of space between them and the defender.
But there was also a couple of scrambles too, where he was able to just kind of get loose. I mean, there was some long, like second and long yards. I think it was like second and 22 or things like that, and they were converting these things.
And we know that that between Huntley and Lamar Jackson, these guys can win with their feet.
Absolutely.
So there's always got to be a plan in where we got to be very more disciplined in our lanes.
Yes.
You know, or whatever games that we're running, it's supposed to run right.
Or
into
just be
the
physical up front.
Yeah.
And get the pressure
Get
there.
off.
Get the pressure has to get home.
Yeah.
Well, and that was one of my keys going into this game, you know, was to contain the quarterback. We thought it was Lamar Jackson. It ended up being Tyler Huntley, but they both have a similar skill set in terms of running the football. Huntley goes for 8 carries, 53 yards, very similar to Jaden Daniels, who had 10 carries for 52 yards in that Monday night game. So not an easy task to contain those guys. At times, I thought they set the edge decently well, you know, with the mesh point handoffs, and Lamar would keep it, or not Lamar, Tyler Huntley would keep it. Thought Dio Dangbo a few times did a good job of setting the edge and containing as best they can. But then it opens up things for Derrick Henry, and it just kind of snowballs, and it's not an easy task. So we'll see what happens here. Sarah, let's get into some of the super chats here as we round third on the Brick by Brick after show. Sarah, go ahead and read those off for us. Let's hear if anybody's going to get the Brickhead comment of the day.
Yeah, I've been looking. I've been watching. Okay, from Dub Pope, we got $1.99 saying, time for Caleb conversation. No more excuses. Okay.
The Pope with his blessing. $2. Time for the Caleb conversation.
We
no
got
more excuses.
Dominus.
We got $9.99 from Gypsy Mandel. I apologize. Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
I have
our
a
guy
journalism
from Vegas.
degree.
He is a great dude.
He said, we already had this game marked as a loss. We are still in a good position. I still think we are a playoff team. 18 will get better. We will figure it out. Tough to win on the road.
Yikes.
Valid.
Glad he's not one glad he's not one of our teammates. We had this one marked as a loss. What the hell am I stepping on the field?
That's the that's the copium. That's the copium. Because like going into the season when the schedule came out, you're looking at the schedule, how it breaks down. Ravens on the road, Lamar Jackson. So what he's trying to say is
said that we were going to get better. What was it, after week 2?
So when we
look at us.
Yes, when we looked at our schedule, no matter what year it was, I didn't look and was like, hey, we're going to lose.
No, we all I saw was W's.
Right.
That's all I saw.
All I saw was Jameis Winston. Eating them W's.
Eating dubs.
That's all I saw.
Eating dubs.
All right, we got a $4.99 super chat from Jonathan saying, my understanding is pre-snap penalties are usually the QB's fault, especially when they just keep happening. Is that wrong?
The quarterback's fault?
Yeah.
He might have played more quarterback than I have, man. I haven't played a lot of quarterback in my life. I never had pre-snap.
Run play on 2. Ready, break. Said hit, and then you jump off sides. That's not Caleb's fault.
I don't know.
That's not Caleb's fault.
Well, if you're like, if the cadence is, hey, we're gonna go on hit, all right, or we're gonna go on hit.
Mm-hmm.
Set hit. We're like, whoa, fella, is it set hit? Or
I don't think that's what's happening.
Hit? Is it?
I don't think that's what's happening.
Hit? Is it? I don't honestly know.
All I know is it happens way too much.
Right.
Every single week. We keep on talking about cleaning it up. They talk about it, not us. They always say we're going to clean it up. We got to clean it up. They know the problem. They know what the issue is, and they still do it better.
Mo better?
Mo better.
Blues. Hey, listen, and at that age, at this age, how can you not handle this issue of problem solving.
Grow up, Bears.
All right, we got a $4.99 super chat from Dub Pope saying Caleb Williams' flaws all point to his maturity. Can't coach maturity. Dude needs to grow up quick. This is the NFL. Low key, I kind of agree with that.
Whoa.
That's
Whoa, Sarah. Whoa.
Sarah cracking with
The Brickhead comment of the day goes to Sarah.
You know that man.
Here.
You know
Sarah with the reality
gets the
spray.
Brickhead comment of the day with her throwing
Sarah
shots
reality
here
spray.
as we hit overtime here
just hating on them
on
nails.
the Brick by Brick After Show. Make sure you hit the like button. Become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard. We appreciate everyone tuning in here and hanging out. And we appreciate everyone at Joe's on Weed Street as well. That's right. Clap, Patrick Norton. That's right.
Let's go.
That's right. We got one more super chat. One more super chat.
From my main man,
Giuseppe.
That's
right.
$4.99 from Giuseppe says Denver is run first pass, and I have to say Nix is dead on. Accurate 18 has to get better. Why are we not using the tight end? Is it too many weapons? ?
Yeah.
Too many weapons.
Never can
That's what
have
I was gonna say.
Never had too many weapons at all.
We got to use them all, though.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do is utilize them all.
Don't force it. Don't force it. Take what the defense gives you. If you have all those weapons, then it should be a big problem for the defense because we have to stay at home. We can't lean toward any. We shouldn't be able to lean toward any tendency of yours because every one of your players are dangerous.
You're exactly right. Do not force it and take what the defense gives you. If the defense gives you 6 yards, throw the 6-yard pass and let's see what he can do with that. Let's see. Because I'm waiting for this. I want to start seeing what these guys can do. Open this thing up a little bit more.
Better Tom Brady that thing.
Tom Brady made a career dinking and dunking.
Dinking and dunking.
Yep, well, 100%. And we're going to have to see what this Bears team is made of, as today was a wake-up call, a reality check.
We do have the Bungles.
Gut check time.
Next week.
They did just lose.
They did.
For these,
to the Jets.
It's money on the table time here coming up next week.
First win by the Jets.
As the Bears take on the Bengals, who did lose to the Jets and Justin Fields 39-38. Shout out to Justin Fields for
why
are we shouting out?
Why are we shouting out to Justin?
Because Woody Johnson.
Stop talking about our exes.
Stop
talking about our exes.
No, stop.
Woody Johnson called him out. That was shady. So he thumbed it to ownership.
Tell him
and
kick
so
his thumbs out of our business. Yeah.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Green Thumb.
I can't even argue it. I tried to come up with a rebuttal, but you're right. You're right.
Stop talking to your exes. Bring it back.
None of that. All right. That wraps things up here for the Brick by Brick After Show. Shout out to Sarah and Steven, who have been producing and working hard all day long. Shout out to Emma, who's been killing it on social all day. She's screaming over there. Shout out to Patrick Norton, who's my nemesis in life. And shout out to everyone at Joe's on Weed Street for all their hard work. We appreciate everybody that came out for a fun day here. Once again, it's always a great time at Joe's on Weed Street.
Yes, it
you
is.
Got to hit up this bar. It is
a weed
legendary.
Yes, read a book.
Why are we reading a book?
Because it's important to read books. I learned that today.
I love books.
On
Right?
Weed Street.
You know what I mean? It's so educational.
Okay, read a book. Read a book.
Read a
and
playbook.
bear down. And we'll catch you tomorrow. We got 3 shows on CHGO Bears for you tomorrow. Hogan John's live at 9 a.m. Make sure you tune into that. Then CHGO Bears at 1 p.m. Professor Briggs will be handing out his grades.
I can't wait to see these grades.
Scared for those. And then, of course, CHGO Bears After Dark tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. So a full slate on a tough bounce-back Monday as we look ahead to the Bungles next Sunday. So all good Bears fans, still above 500 at 4-3 on the season. Still have a long season ahead. And hopefully Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and the Chicago Bears can pick themselves off the mat. So, as we always like to say to finish our shows, keep your head up and always bear down. We'll see you.
We all silly like the mayor.